Hey everybody, it's Dean. I'm your multi-genre music man. I'm back for one more video. I decided I want to do a video. I don't know if they're gonna let me get any credit for this or not, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyway. It's called "Woman Guilty of Faking Kidnapping Breaks Down During Police Interrogation for Law and Crime." I'm gonna try to give this a record and see if it won't work. If it don't, then I won't do them anymore. But if it does, then maybe I'll start doing some more of these. So let's give it a try. If you want to become a part of my, do it right here, Triple M family member, all you gotta do is subscribe, hit like on this tape that you're watching, and don't forget to hit the bell and notifications. You only have to hit it once, so you don't have to hit it again. And make sure you send this video out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. That'll help get it seen. So let's get started. It's called "Woman Guilty of Faking Kidnapping Breaks Down During Police Interrogation." Let's see how this one goes.
Let's press on.
Press on. And we'll move on to the next stages. But I want to give you that opportunity first. But obviously everything's fearful. If you tell him to leave and what I'm going to say is benign, then he's going to, we can pull him back in the room. Like, hey, Keith, come back in. This is what we talked about. So there's that fear of him wigging out. Why is she trying to hide something from me? There's help me.
Yeah, there's no trick here. We're just trying to make sure that.
Obviously, she's trying to hide something. She doesn't want her husband to be in there during the investigation or the questioning. So obviously, she's trying to hide something from her husband.
Yeah, if you're comfortable to talk, but you can't agree to talk to us, truthfully.
They're asking you, they're not asking me. Obviously, I would want to be here and whatever needs to come out.
And you can change your mind in the future too, if you want to change it.
It's gonna get out, so.
Like I said in the beginning, you're free to go. So if you wanted to chat with them privately, that's fine too. But we want to talk to you.
And we can leave the room, give you guys the room for a couple minutes. This next stage of things could be benign, could be like, we forgot to tell you this, or oh yeah, all of these things make sense now. I could tell you the puzzle that makes it all come together, or I can tell the puzzle that crashes everything apart. I don't know what that piece is, honestly. All I know is facts. All I know is certain specific items that will either tear the castle down or is going to build the castle up. And I don't want to build.
Come on now, you can't tell me that this guy don't know what he's got. That envelope of his is going to either hurt her or help her. I don't think it's going to help her.
Tear the castle down and not give you the ability to then fix your own castle. Even if it's just a small thing here or it's the whole castle, I want you to be able to.
Oh, this was taped back in August 13th, 2020, so it was taped a while ago.
To choose that.
She's probably already been to court already.
Let you guys talk, because I don't know what information I'm going to do.
I don't know if they said her name or not.
Or if it's, oh yeah, everything's fine. I just don't know what it is.
Sherry.
We showed the pictures because everybody's invested in it.
Her name is Sherry Papini. In a newly released police interrogation video from 2020, Sherry Papini breaks down when presented with information that she faked her own kidnapping. Papini pleaded guilty to the abduction hoax in April of 2022 and was sentenced to 18 months in prison with 36 months of supervised release. Ouch.
In this picture, Keith do the drawings. Keith's the one who gave this stuff. So Keith has always been a part of your memory for small details. And that's why Keith's been in here this whole time. And that's why.
He makes me feel safe in you.
Well, if he makes you feel safe too, we can
So
anything you want.
Go
I,
ahead.
you can
Can I
change your
talk
mind.
to him?
Absolutely. And again, I just don't know what the pieces are. So if I would say, hey, this is gonna bring the whole world down, I'd tell you, that's not bring the whole world down. And then we need to talk alone. Or I would suggest we talk alone. But that's completely up to you guys, because I don't know. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Uh-oh, they're whispering. Nothing can come good of their whispering because they have got police recorders in the room that record everything, no matter if it's a whisper or not. They know what they're saying. They got two-way windows and everything in these rooms. Like I said, they don't want her to find the purse. They don't want them to find the purse.
Charges on her, I don't wanna find her.
Or find her.
I don't want them to find her. You're not listening to me. Because she saved my life. Look at that talking right now. Yeah, fucking.
No, that's not me.
I don't want them to find her. I don't want to press charges, and I don't wanna go down that road.
But you tell her.
I don't wanna go down that road. I don't
Tell
want
me
to
why.
press her. Because she saved my life, and she's the reason why I get to hold my children every single day.
Sounds to me like he wants to press charges against whoever kidnapped her, and she's like, no. She's the reason that I get to be with my children every night because she let me go free. So I made a bargain with her that I wouldn't press charges. But it sounds like the real reason is because she faked her own kidnapping.
I don't want them to arrest her. Why? Because she saved my life.
So you don't press charges.
I think if she has half a brain in her head, she knows that if she presses charges against her and they're fake, they're false police report, you can go to jail for that. So she has half a brain in her head. That's what she's thinking. Sorry about that. I had to pause it for a second so I could take my medication. I don't like to take medication on the internet because it promotes taking meds and drugs and whatever, so I don't want to do that. I can't believe they're letting him talk this long without coming in, breaking in. There we go. Time's up.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep using this lighter.
Hopefully you've had a chance to chat briefly.
I don't know why I keep using a slider when I got a windless slider. Makes it a lot easier.
The fears,
Later, maybe. I'd rather you
Nothing-
just answer the question.
nothing that I'll say to you, I won't eventually tell him if you want me to.
We would love to hear what you're feeling. Because we want to be able to address them as best we can.
driver's seat right now.
I think it's easier to control things once you know what the information is, to be honest with you. Sure. So I can tell you what it is, say what it is when Keith leaves, and then you can say yes or no, whether or not you want him in there for the rest of it.
Right now, he's just, am I in the room or am I out of the room?
And I'm to the point where if you want him here, we'll just go on with the conversation.
As long as you're not interrupting your
Yeah.
president.
I'll stay over here.
But if he steps out, I can say a name, and then you can choose whether you want him in here for the rest of it or not. It's completely up to you. Or I can just continue on, and again, like I said, I wanted you to always have control over certain aspects of stuff.
You can tell she don't.
Where anybody's going to jail.
You can tell she don't want him in the room. Obviously, they're gonna say a name that she doesn't want him to say, but
Yet. We're not to a point of anything like that. We're just still at the talking stage. We're at the control stage.
he was saying that they're not at the stage of anybody being arrested yet. But that they say that all the time to try to put you at ease, but they end up turning it into something where you get arrested. This is a 55-minute conversation. I guarantee before it's over, she's arrested.
You seem scared, Shay.
No, it's not scared.
What is it? When you don't answer, Sherry, it makes me concerned because I want to hear what your answers are, and I want to be able to understand.
The only way to control things is for us to know.
I don't want you to find her.
We're not going to find her.
She's the reason why I get to see my children every day.
I agree, but we're not going to find her.
She's the reason? What do you mean by that?
She means the younger one let her do. Right? Is that what you're referring to? We're not going to find her. And we can just skip to the rock into the water and ruffle up the pond if we want to now.
They know they're not gonna find her because they already know that she kidnapped herself. That's the reason that they know they're not gonna find the girl or do anything to her.
Again, this is your last this is the last time if you want to do this alone or with Keith. Keith's been through this also on a different level. So I'm ready I'm ready to move on and throw the dart and throw the rock and see what happens to the water. But Sherry, look at me. What do you want?
I don't want her to get in trouble.
She's not going to get in trouble. So the DNA came back to James Ray's.
James Ray.
The DNA that was on you belongs to James Ray's.
The picture, and can I get the picture? The picture of the table is James Ray's little brother who died recently. We talked to him. He's been on a polygraph. We talked to everybody around him. We have the rental agreements, phone rental, car rental agreements. We have everything that says that he said he told.
So what's going on is she went out on a date with some guy, said she was kidnapped, and now the DNA is coming back as one of her ex-boyfriends, and now the husband's like, how's that going on?
That's James' brother, deceased Nick.
So everything, you've told us so many truths in this situation. The reason why you can describe the rooms is because you stayed in the room in the dark for hours, for days on end. The reason why you lost so much weight is because you stopped eating. The reason why you got a rash on your arm is because you cleaned his house. The reason why the brand is because he went to the store, bought the branding tools, and branded you. The reason why your nose was broke is because of a hockey stick. I know all of those things.
Uh-oh.
And I know there was no sex. I know all of that because he passed a polygraph test. That said, it's not an abduction. She asked me to come get her.
No.
I rented a car.
No.
Drove up and picked her up.
You can read body language really well, and you can tell that husband is pissed. He's grabbing his legs. He's he's adjusting his pants and adjusting his shirt. He's pissed.
He passed the polygraph test, Sherry.
If that's not what happened, what did happen, Sherry?
I don't know. No, there's no way. It's James. There's no way. There's no way.
The DNA doesn't lie.
His DNA,
His DNA was on you.
his
There's
brother,
no way.
Robert saw you in the house while you were down there. While everything
He's
spun out of
Robert.
control, his cousin. Why everything ran out of control on the initial.
There's no way.
It's 100% Robert's or James's DNA.
We even collected blonde hairs from the room.
There's no way. It's James. There's no way.
Tell you that it is.
Why are you saying it's not James? Why are you saying it's not?
He loved me.
What's that?
We were friends.
Mhm.
There's no way.
And he came and got you because you asked him.
No.
When was the last time you had contact with James?
His brother died.
Brother died in 2017. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Was it before or after the abduction? Before.
When was the last time you saw James?
Forever ago, when I lived in Southern California.
So the last person-to-person contact you had with him was back in 2006? When you were living in Southern California?
I don't know.
So,
Was it prior to your marriage?
It's him. There is no way it's him.
well, it is
The
James.
DNA tells us that it was his
Well-
DNA on you.
The DNA alone says it's him. And when we talked to him, confronted him with the DNA,
He told us what happened.
he 100% told us what happened.
He gave us details that nobody else would know.
And we can call him and we can all talk about it. But
You can tell with her body language too. She's doing what she can to try to lie and not look at the guy's face while she's lying. But the husband's body language is absolutely easy to read. He is so mad right now. He thinks that she hasn't seen this guy since like before they were married or whatever, and now to find out she was with him for a whole week while she's saying she was abducted, he is pissed,
ultimately,
and I would be too.
Can you look at me for a second? Ultimately, we put him on a polygraph like we did Keith. Keith was inconclusive, to be honest with you, on whether he was involved or not. But 100% James was showing the truth. The questions were, did Sherry ask you to come pick her up? He answered yes. That was the truth on a polygraph. We asked him, "Do the two of you ever had sex?" The answer was no.
During 2016.
During 2016, during the abduction, he said no. That was the truth. We asked him if you asked him to brand you. The answer was yes. And he passed the polygraph on all of those questions. He took us to the stores where he bought the chain. He took-
Wow, she went as far as to have him brand her. I mean, holy cow, that's sick.
We talked to the friend who rented the car. The car that he rented drove over 900 miles in a day.
Sure, I know this is a lot to take in,
All
but
of
it's not
the-
like we don't know the answers to these questions.
And the fear of Keith's reaction, obviously now he's in the room. The fear of media, the fear of all of these things are coming forward, they're in front of you now. The only way to get a hold of it, the only way for everybody to come together and heal, the whole community has to heal.
Yeah, if that husband wasn't in a police station right now, he'd be coming unglued. Just unglued.
Is for us to be able to say, when we presented all of the evidence, all of the stuff that came forward, you told us the truth. You told us what happened. Because you did go in a dark room, that's true. You did lay in the backseat of the car, that's true. You did lose weight, you were branded, your hair was cut. You did have bruises all over it. But how those bruises got there are because you did it and James did something. The reason why your nose got broke is because you held the hockey stick to your face and he forced it into your nose. The reason why the brand is in a straight line is because he did it. He described exactly where it was. He told us exactly how he did it, where he did it, how he did it. Only you and I and maybe 5 other people know where the brand was. He told me immediately. Robert told friends and family you were there. His mom knew that you were there because of course
Sorry.
and everybody knew you guys dated.
Sorry, I had to take my Flonase. My sinuses are acting up terribly tonight.
But you guys knew you guys had a relationship. So when it happened, of course, family reached out to him and told him, yeah, she was here. But it said it hurt her, I didn't hurt her. So,
What are you thinking, Sherry?
That doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
what actions doesn't make sense?
But what if it doesn't make sense?
Can we talk about those? James DNA.
She doesn't even want to look at the evidence that they've got. She's got evidence. They keep showing her. She's like, you want to look at this and talk about it? She's like, no.
Was confirmed on your clothing. You haven't seen each other in over a decade.
Cell phones, like I said earlier. Cell phones are so high tech now that I don't care if you wrap them in aluminum foil or not, they can tell you where you were standing, when you were standing there, who you were talking to, who you were texting. It can tell you everything about you.
You told me that you haven't been in his room, you haven't had contact with him in over 10 years. However,
You described his bedroom to a T.
and the DNA on you was still a vibrant piece of DNA. 10-year-old DNA dies. The DNA that was there specifically was non-seminal fluid, was seminal fraction. You got that from his house somewhere. So whether it was the bed that you were sleeping on, whether it was the couch, whether it was anywhere in there. When somebody would come to the door and be around the property, you'd call James would call Robert, because those 2 doors down, Robert would run people off the property. Robert told me all of that.
Watch your husband's shoe. It's bouncing back and forth like he's going nuts.
James told me everything. So the only person that hasn't started telling us certain facts, there are certain facts that are true. When we were sitting there talking to James, there were so many truths that were a part of your story that it's hard to decipher the lies. Until we put it all together. Until he says, hey, how did you pick her up? I opened up the passenger side seat, I opened the door, you jumped in the back seat. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? I don't know. It was weird. So are you calling James a liar? Are we not believing James what he told me? I know you're scared.
Cannot believe that it is James.
can't believe James told us the truth. That's what I can't believe. He passed a polygraph, sure.
So did Keith.
Oh, he didn't do it. And he was involved.
So James is involved. But I don't.
James picked you up. You called James to pick you up. You mailed him a letter with your address. You used
No.
a burner phone to call another burner phone for James to come and get you.
You're saying since you're married, you haven't called James?
No, I have called James.
Because earlier you said you had contacted James. Because phone records show that you do. You did. The phones don't lie, the DNA doesn't lie, sir.
His polygraph doesn't lie.
So you can go a couple different directions now.
His story.
I've already told you lying to me is a crime. So you walk out the door telling lies, and that's a crime.
I think we need my lawyer. This isn't making any sense.
Well, it's not making sense, Sherry. The parts that
That
don't make
it's
sense.
James.
No, the parts that don't make sense are that you're accusing two females who abducted you when it was James.
When she says, I think I need a lawyer, they're supposed to stop, ask her if she wants a lawyer, and go from there. They're not allowed to keep talking when she asks for a lawyer.
The part that you were branded, James did. He told me he did.
No.
Who would sit there and
No.
say,
No.
I branded Sherry on her right shoulder blade? Who does that?
And told us how and showed us the letters that matched the brand.
Took us to the store and pointed.
He's pulling, her husband's pulling his chair so far away from her. He wants to be anywhere but in that room with her right now.
out the letter. The problem is today's the case is resolved. Everything, the only things, well, how do we prove that you're telling us the truth? How do we prove that the truth is that two women took you, but I'm telling you it's a male? The fact that you were branded is true. The small fact is that you willingly laid down and did it versus being tied to a table. So we could do the polygraph and try to, whatever parts are you're confused about.
Can you go without that?
Can I talk to you outside real quick? Or wait?
That's fine. The fears of how out of control everything got, the fear of all these things is the
Uh-oh.
And the only people that can
He wants to know something. He ain't happy about it, whatever it is.
slow the train down is you and I. You put yourself through this so we can
I bet money he don't come back in the room either. He probably takes off after he's done talking to that cop. He probably don't come back.
move forward, you can tell certain stories.
That's what I'm guessing anyway.
You couldn't control the DNA that we found. You couldn't control when we talked to James, he'd tell us what happened. The story always was hard for anybody to understand. The tragedy that the community went through, the events that unfolded, the fear now of what it all means. But there's without a doubt, James's DNA was on you. And the
No.
the
No.
likelihood of it being an ex-boyfriend is a problem.
No.
It's astronomical. Then you add in, when we go talk to people who never even heard of us, when we say, hey, what's going on here, they knew that you were at the house. All of them never came forward. No way. Do you want to call Jamie? This was a long road. I had no idea where it was going to take me. But right now, continuing and saying that two girls took you is a lie to Peter. It's just a lie.
If you haven't figured it out yet, James is a guy that actually helped abduct her. He just asked her if she wanted to call him so she could verify that he told the truth and he knows what he's saying. She's like, no, I don't want to call him.
Have you ever proof of evidence with a rental car agreement, person driving to 1,000 miles in a day,
1,000 miles in a day.
passing a polygraph?
Imagine driving 900 miles in one day in a car. That's a lot of driving.
It's three legs to a table and stand.
Told you he wouldn't be back. Told you he wouldn't be back.
Now's your opportunity. Based on your reaction previously, what you're telling me is you did not call James and ask him to come get you. Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, I have to understand that. There are things he says that we can corroborate, and whatever you say, we're going to try and corroborate. But right now, I'm not sure what you're saying. You're just saying you can't believe it's him. And you're saying you don't understand. But there are details he provided. We know you were in his house. We collected hairs from that bedroom.
That were yours.
That's going to have DNA on it. We already have your hairs that you left with your cell phone when you were picked up.
That's my DNA, obviously.
So that's not going to lie either. The descriptions you provided are that room and that house to a T, except it's not a gravel driveway, and it's not elevated, and there's not two women who live there.
But James lives there.
James lives there.
You know James was there.
So you might as well get it out of your head that James is not involved, because James is clearly involved, and James already told us he's the one that did the brand.
That's something that he admitted to mayhem. He admitted to a felony, you can put him in prison.
So how would that, how do you, it doesn't
He's
jive.
in,
And you're,
he admitted to stuff that's putting him in prison. He wouldn't admit to that stuff unless it's his absolute truth. Because he's getting jail time out of it, and he's definitely made himself a pretty little deal there somewhere.
your opportunity to say, were there issues between you and Keith? Is that why you needed to leave? I mean, we read your text message. We're already aware of some issues, but enlighten us if that's the case. If there was a valid reason for you to leave, let me know what that was.
James said you had your job broken by him, and that's why he came and got you to be in an abusive relationship.
That's my husband.
So, were you in an abusive relationship with him? Have you told other people in your life that, like China, that Keith has abused you in the past when that wasn't true? China told me that day two, where there was an incident at a party that you got hurt playing, like, I don't know, Wii or Pictionary or something, and then you told other friends that Keith hurt you. When there was witnesses at the party that said that you got hurt during a party. So you go tell James that you were being hurt, you were being abused, and you couldn't come forward because Keith has friends in law enforcement. If all of that's, is that true? Has Keith ever been abusive toward you?
We are not talking about my husband. I love my husband.
So why leave? Is James lying to us?
I just want to leave my husband. I want to be with my children. I would never leave my children.
You didn't leave them permanently. You came back to them. Ultimately,
No.
You left them every day at daycare, so it's not like they. And James talked about that decision when you were driving down, how hard that was. You left at 10 o'clock knowing that Keith was going to get home late, knowing you were going to leave the kids at daycare, and how much that tore you up on the drive down. You told us that. Then things got out of
James
control.
and I talked about that. We did talk about that before. When I went out of town from work.
what happened?
We was talking to the guys. God, why did I do that?
Like when you were in Eureka tell you to give him a call? Just start chatting with him? Told him some of your problems? And when did it turn from just chatting to his plan to get away?
No.
You were getting a hold of Donovan Mitski the night before.
Why did I do that?
We're trying to understand why you did that too.
We're trying to understand all of it.
I don't know how this is happening because I was doing that. This
what?
is an awful choice. Talking to other guys that has got me here.
What aspect are you saying? Like, how does talking to other people got you here? We've gotten
I
over.
love my husband and I made mistakes and I talked to other men that I shouldn't have.
But we took it a step farther this time.
This is a little different than just chatting with them. I appreciate you talking and being forthright about the other guys you were talking to. When did it turn into something more? Obviously, you never would have imagined that CNN in 2020 and Good Morning America would care about you wanting to leave Keith or wanting to teach him a lesson
No.
or wanting to get him in line.
No, it's just fucking bitches. I don't want to leave my husband.
Right,
I
but
love
how-
my husband.
how are you
I'm
talk-
just talking to James.
How are you talking to James?
I don't want to leave my
How-
husband.
Sure. How were you talking to James? On your cell phone or another cell phone?
My work cell phone. I don't want to leave my husband. I don't want to leave my husband.
This is more
What's
like
your-
just a flirt.
What's your work cell phone number? What's that?
I don't remember.
How long were you guys talking?
I don't know.
Why would he rent a car and come and get you?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know that, why would you get in a car and go down to Costa Mesa?
Those are all things we can
Costa
verify,
Mesa.
sir. The car rental.
I don't even know where Costa Mesa is. Is that in California? Anybody know? Echo, where's Costa Mesa?
Costa Mesa is a city in Orange County, California.
That's
It is
in
located
Orange County,
32.9
California.
miles southeast of
Echo,
Los Angeles.
cancel. It's in Southern Beach, California.
The fuel, the mileage, the calls from you to him, the burner phone.
Orange County,
all that can be
California.
proven.
Should-
Horrible.
It's in Orange County, California, I should say.
I don't think you're a horrible person, Sherry. I think things went a little sideways on you.
We started this conversation off and nobody knew what this was gonna turn into. I didn't know that I'd have people stand on boxes in front of my office, that Keith would be on 2020.
I want my husband. I want my children. I'm so stupid. For talking to other guys.
But why did James come and get you? I know you guys were talking. I know you've said in the past that Keith has hurt you to other friends. Why tell them those details if that stuff's not true? It's one thing to talk. It's one thing to talk, it's another thing to say abuses are occurring. Everybody I talked to about James said he's the nicest person in the whole world. Yeah, he may be a hockey player, but he is the nicest person in the world.
Or if that's why they used a hockey stick to break her nose with, to make it look like he hit her with a hockey stick, where he's a hockey player. Kind of curious now.
Tied to a fault. I know lots of people. I don't know anybody I'd rent a car for and drive 9 hours for. James did that for you.
Drove a lot longer than 9 hours, because at 100 miles an hour it'd be 900 miles, so you drove a lot longer than 9 miles.
He
That
never
was helping you.
He never asked you why. He never questioned anything. He
Even
never
with
asked.
reward money on the line.
He never asked for anything. He didn't ask for sexual relations. He didn't ask for a relationship after you. He didn't ask for anything. He's never even talked to you since.
And yet he stayed quiet until now.
The only reason why he talked is because we have his DNA. That's the only reason why we got to his door. That's the only thing that led us to his closet. That's the only thing that led us to the bathroom, that goofy. That's the only reason why he started talking to us. Once he showed us the bedroom, and we started pointing out the holes in the wall, like, you used to have this boarded up, huh? And he said, yeah.
Sherry asked me to put boards up.
There's nobody's ever gonna be able to answer why decisions were made.
Except for James. I don't understand.
You don't understand what?
At 75 miles an hour, it'd be like 12 hours of driving straight for 900 miles.
What parts are you not
Sherry.
understanding?
He even showed us, Sherry, he even showed us the letters that we used for the brand, the numbers. I got pictures of them right here.
What
This
did
is stuff
the
that was used.
What did the Bible verse mean to you?
How would he have known that?
Why did you pick that Bible verse? Did James pick the Bible verse?
Excuse me. This mic is so sensitive, it picks up every little noise I make. It's the only downside
You
of
need
it.
to be able to control the outcome and what's going to happen
If
next.
I turn it down, if it would
The only
fix
thing
it or
you know
not.
is going to happen right now is what you can tell us and what you can shed light on. And for
Hello?
other people
Hello?
to
Hello?
be able to try to understand.
Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Yeah, I can still hear myself,
But at
so.
this point, not telling us what happened, not telling us the truth is another mistake. It's a mistake on top of a mistake. Right now, we can start over. We can leave without a dirty conscience, without the what's gonna happen next. Right now,
Deep
there's
down
too many
inside,
that
Sherry,
haven't
I
happened.
know you know what's right and what you should do. And you should come clean.
Why did you ask James to come to you? You asked Donovan.
Sorry, I burnt a hole in my shirt.
Everything
Sorry about that. I thought I burnt a hole in my shirt. My cigarette head come off.
happened at once. You were asking
Oh, that's
two.
a stupid thing to do.
The thing about it is, we were able to prove that Donovan never came up here. But now we can prove that James did. We have the records to prove it. But you might not think it was a good idea now, 2020 hindsight. At the time, why did you ask him to come pick you up? Was that an I don't know?
She's gonna admit it finally?
What's that?
Can't be James.
Can't be James. Not wrong
His
answer.
DNA doesn't lie. His DNA was on you. Your DNA is going to be in that room.
1 septillion zeros, James. I don't even know how many zeros septillion is, to be honest with you.
That's why, despite your description of how far you might have gone in the car, we already went down there. We knocked on his door. We took those pictures. He understood that the DNA didn't lie. So he came clean. Now it's your chance to do the same. And if you don't, you're going to be shaking your head later and say, I should have told him what happened.
Yep. It's bad enough to get in trouble for lying for a false report. It's even worse to lie to the police now to cover up a lie. It's just gonna keep snowballing.
Like what?
There's so many fears right now that we can't even wrap our head around it. There's too many unknowns that we can't control. We can't control what the media's gonna do. We can't control what everybody's gonna think. The only thing we can control right now is to control that James told us the truth, and that's a yes or a no. What did James lie about? What did James lie to us about? Of the things I've told you.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. There's just no way it can be James. I just don't know. I don't know.
It is James. That's not even a question anymore.
We know you were in that room. That's already clear.
We described everything in the room.
Excuse me.
What you're saying is it wasn't James that came and picked you up by the mailboxes? Is that what you're saying? There's still two females? Is that what you're saying, Sharon?
At the end.
Notice since she's been in this room, she's not looked up at either officer once. Not once has she looked up at either one to say a word. So she's obviously lying and very guilty feeling.
End of everything. Once you had to have known that this was gonna.
It's body language 101. If they can't look you in the eye when they're talking to you, they're lying to you.
Come at some point.
I was talking to my mom.
What's that?
This is all my fault. I was talking to so many guys.
Well, we know
Such a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, but then how did we get to Costa Rica, or sorry, Costa Mesa? Wherever I was. How did we get to LA? There's a big jump and a leap from talking to men to getting in a car with somebody. But that getting in a car with somebody is somebody you had a relationship with. He told us about the abortion. He told us about your guys' relationship. He told us about things that I don't know if you've ever told anybody about. He told us so many things. And he did it all for you. Nobody else. He got nothing out of this.
And you're welcome to go home, Sharon. But right now is your opportunity to tell us the truth. And
Can't be.
are you saying that it was two females that picked you up? What's that? Every time I ask that question, it seems like you don't answer it.
This can't be happening to me.
We sat in a room, we drew out two people in a sketch, Sherry. Are those two people the ones that took you? It's a yes or no?
I don't know.
Well, you were pretty clear when I asked you earlier, what did the younger one do? You said the younger one pointed a gun at you.
He was there.
He wasn't. It was just James. James was
We-
2 hours late.
We have the rental records from 2016 for the vehicle that he used.
Why?
Because we wouldn't look for it, because he told me.
Because I was talking to him.
That's clear. You were talking to him. I don't.
Why? Why do you think we're police officers? We look for those things. He's asking why they have the records from her renting a car. Why? When he went outside, the husband went outside to speak to the officer. He probably did have a couple questions for her, like, did he lie on the lie detector test, or do you guys have proof of this or that? But it was mainly his excuse to leave and never come back. He wasn't coming back to that room for nothing once he knew the truth. He knew he'd lied and she'd never been abducted. And he's been on 2020 and all this other stuff, saying that his wife was abducted and all. Come to find out it was all a lie. Makes him look like an idiot.
My fault because I was doing him. I just can't.
We have to control what we can control. We're to the point, the younger female that you've always described, is she the one that pointed a gun at you? Is that true or not?
No.
Is told me earlier. So earlier today, when we were talking, I asked you what did the younger one do. You told me the younger one pointed a gun at you and let you go. That's what you said.
She let me go.
Yeah, you let yourself go. You let yourself out of the backseat. Never even said bye to James. Never a thank you, never a nothing. Just an out.
No.
Yeah, that's what James told me. Until you can start telling me that James is a liar and start pointing things out, James passed a polygraph.
This is my fault that I was talking to him. It's my fault that I was flirting with other men. It was such a stupid thing to do. I love my husband.
Flirting
I
with
love
other-
my children.
That's
It's
understandable.
just stupid for
Here's the deal though,
flirting with other
Sherry.
men.
Flirting with other men, not a crime. Lying to me today, yes, a crime.
Flirting with other men isn't a crime, but lying to the police is a crime.
Big difference.
Telling your story.
False objection, charges is definitely a crime.
Story of what happened to you isn't a crime.
And I know you're scared what Keith is going to say and do, what's going to happen with you and your family. Those are real concerns. But we also need to understand the truth. And you're in the best position to give us that. You keep saying that it can't be him. The DNA doesn't lie. It's him.
You were talking to
And now's the opportunity for you to tell us.
I was talking to him.
and we talked
We were
about.
talking again. It was really nice.
Okay.
You
And
started
that makes
talking
sense.
again what?
What her brother did.
Oh, sure.
And that makes sense. The problem we have is the actions after the talking, after the flirting. There was a big difference between talking on the phone and getting in a car with somebody. So are you saying that James got two females to kidnap you? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? So if James's DNA is on you, are you, so either we're still saying the younger girl pointed a gun at you, or we're saying we don't know. You've already told me that today, that a younger girl pointed a gun at you.
You said you didn't want her to get caught. So are we still talking that the female let you go?
That's where we're at. And I don't know, it doesn't add clarity on simple questions, Sherry. A very easy question. Did James pick you up? You told me earlier that a girl pointed a gun at you. Is that detail, which one's true? It's only one. Only one of those are true, Sherry. You told both of them. I've told one, you told the other. Which one's true? Does James need to go to jail for all the stuff that you asked him to do? No, nobody asked for this. Sherry, I believe you. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for ABC News to park out in your driveway.
There was no way you could have predicted that this was going to blow up into be as big as it was. Not even God thought it was going to turn into this big. Even when he first got the call, he didn't think that CNN and ABC and everybody was going to care.
I'm gonna find Sherry in a couple days, cause I found Donovan, I found the people some of the people you were talking to. I've never known about your work cell phone. But we're beyond that small discretion. We've talked about that discretion. We've talked about Donovan, right? Remember? We talked about Donovan. Who picked you up? Was it James, or was it a female that pointed a gun at you? Can you please answer that? You're shaking your head no.
I will not get, I'm not talking to you about that. I'm not gonna get anybody in trouble. I told you before, I do not want anyone to get in trouble.
Well, you're gonna get yourself in trouble at this point. That's where we're at. So either James
I didn't do anything wrong.
I know you didn't do anything wrong. Right now, you're not telling the truth, which is doing something wrong. That's where we're at. James put himself on a polygraph. Talked to FBI agents. He talked with Peter and I for 6 hours. He told us everything, Sherry. You told us so many truths because you put yourself
Because
through.
they're not true.
They were true. You're
But
absolutely
you
right.
don't wanna talk about the women.
So, but the one.
You're saying that it's James.
No, I'm
We're
not.
saying James's DNA was on you. We know you were in that room at his house.
Then who
So the
is
question
the
is-
woman? Then who is the woman?
Well,
Okay.
about the
That's
woman.
why we're asking you. It
Did
wasn't
the
the
woman
woman.
point a gun at you and put you in the car? Yes or no? Is that where we're at?
Don't remember.
You don't remember if a female pointed a gun at you and put you in the car?
Give me
Is that what you're saying?
a break.
I've always
Give me a break. Don't remember if a woman stuck a gun in your face. I'd remember that in a heartbeat.
told you I don't remember getting in the car. I've always told you I don't remember getting in the car.
Correct. But did a female point a gun at you? Yes or no? Yes or no? It's not a remember thing. You've already told me that today.
You know who she is. I know you do.
It was always
You
Keith.
know who she is.
The,
You know
the
you
lady
do.
we showed you is another raid. No, I know James opened the door for you. Whether you want to forget how you got in the car, I'm okay with that. But you've already established today. That's why I asked you today. What did the younger girl do? You said she let me go and she pointed a gun at me. We didn't talk about how you got in the car. Right now I'm asking you. Did a younger female point a gun at you? Yes or no? What?
I know you know who she is. I'm
We're
not
on the
saying
wrong-
it. I don't want her to get in trouble.
She's not
I
getting in
know
trouble.
you know who she is.
You're getting in trouble.
I am
That's-
not. I didn't do anything.
But right now, answer this one question. Did a female point a gun at you, yes or no?
I am done speaking to you until I talk to a lawyer. I will not arrest her. I am with my children.
That's the secret word, secret password, lawyer. If you say the word lawyer in any state in the United States of America, you automatically are allowed to speak to a lawyer. They should not question her whatsoever now without her signing her rights away.
And because of her,
I'm disappointed for you.
I don't understand. There is no way that Jesse loves me.
You did love me. I agree.
Sherry, if you wanna talk to your attorney, that's fine. We can wrap this up. If you wanna keep talking to us, that's a separate story, but you said you wanted to talk to your attorney, so like I said, from the beginning, you're free to go and you can go. I would ask you one more question, just for your own welfare. Do you feel like harming yourself?
Welfare.
Do you feel like harming yourself?
No, I just want to hug my children and go home.
Okay. Well, you're free to go and do that.
See, they didn't even have enough to hold her on. She was literally there for just questioning. They didn't even have enough to hold her on. That's why they kept telling her from the beginning she could go home. They didn't even have enough to really hold her on or anything.
If you change your mind, you wanna come forward and talk to us,
They could add charges later for falsifying a police report, but for now they're gonna wait until they get a magistrate to sign a warrant for her arrest. Otherwise, she's free to go.
This is all my fault because I talked to other men. This cannot be.
you might have come and served us.
Where's my husband? I don't know. She said, "Where's my husband?" And he said, "I don't know." I wouldn't expect him to be there anywhere. She just said, the guy just said he said something before he left. husband's back. Well, the husband is back, so he might have something to say before he leaves. Something he wants to say without his wife, apparently.
I'm the idiot husband that stayed around the whole time.
Well, there's not, it's still, you can't tell you a lot, honestly. I don't know what, I told Kelly to let you know some of the details, some of the stuff coming out.
Can you, I mean, from my side, I feel like, my whole world's gonna flip upside down again. Why is that, why am I always getting held out of it? Like, why can't you just hit me with it?
I did, I told you.
I know, yeah.
Cause this happened Monday.
No, you're saying you can't tell me all this stuff.
It's still an ongoing investigation, so you're not gonna find out answers. I mean, that's the way it is.
Can you help me, throw me a bone and then go, I mean, she made it up, is that where we're going, right? Or is she trying to come up with a whole nother?
We're not gonna give you any additional details. Obviously, you've heard the questions, so you can
Yeah.
read through some of those and understand. You've seen some of the photos,
Yeah.
so you know some of the investigative
Well,
work
obviously you
we've
saw me, I
done.
was like, yeah, we found him.
And we did.
Yeah,
But you can also notice your reaction compared to her reaction.
yeah, no, 100%. That's what I'm saying from my side, but now you're telling me, okay, you guys can go home now. Well, you think I want her anywhere around my kids or around me at all at this point?
And again, we've talked a lot. I don't know what the next stages of this are. That's why.
It's not
that's
us
why
together, I guess.
Whatever those decisions.
Wouldn't want her around my kids. No, she said she'd been abducted for a week and she was with some other guy and all that. And she got branded and had her nose broke with a hockey stick and all that stuff. That's psychotic stuff. You don't want your kids around that.
Or I don't know.
But we can all agree that she's not over there, then obviously if somebody can do something like that to their body and try to trick everybody that they're probably not fit to.
It was 4 years ago.
We can't get into that, but I would say, obviously, we are concerned about the welfare. We don't want any kind of domestic dispute between you two. We also don't want.
So give me a quick not legal advice, give me from a sheriff. If I don't want her in my house tonight, what options do I have?
None. None. You have zero. That's what you got. Unless you can go down to a magistrate and say that you're in fear for your life or your children's lives, then you have none. She has every right to live in the house just like you do.
Legal stuff.
I'm not sure if she has to go to her sister's or something, I mean, she's not going to my house tonight, and I got a call. The next stage of this, please give me the courtesy of telling me when you're gonna announce this so I can not be at my home. and
Probably
make sure-
tonight.
Oh, God, you know, quick. Well, I thought you said it's ongoing now.
Well,
We have to.
we gotta talk about that, but
It's gonna happen quick.
I
because
understand that,
we
he was
talked-
thinking tomorrow, I was like, okay,
We
that'll give
blew
me
up
enough time to.
everybody in LA, so there's a hornet's nest in LA.
Mhm.
It only takes one person to go and say, hey, I know what actually happened, I want 10 grand, and now they run the LA news,
Yeah.
it blows up without our control. So, and I don't know the strategy, we still have to have, we had to get through this before we get there. This,
Is there anything you can tell me now? I thought you said you were gonna tell me something when I came back in. Like,
the person that we talked to down there is absolutely involved.
No, I know
Absolutely
that,
everything.
I know that. I
That-
remember
that's
giving
what
you
I'm
guys
doing.
that guy's number, so I
That-
thought.
So that's where we're at.
And then what did she say?
we're just gonna ask you to be patient, let it play out. I know it's gonna be really hard, but it
No,
also makes
but
it
as
easier for
little
you.
kids do, though.
Well, the little kids aren't gonna ask you as much as the media will,
No, I
and the family
understand.
members, your own family members.
No,
And
I
you can
understand.
look at them with a straight face and say, look, they're not telling me yet.
But like, even Kevin right now, I was like, well, shoot, you guys can get her right in the house, I don't even want her in my car right now. That's what he told me, so.
I'm assuming we could arrange for her to get there if that's what has to happen.
Cause I need to make some phone, if you're gonna release it that soon, I'd like to call him.
I don't know what's gonna happen, I can call you today. I'm gonna go from this to another meeting, and that meeting's gonna lead to another meeting, and that meeting's gonna lead to another meeting, and then we'll be figuring stuff out.
Are you saying you want us to help you with transport for her,
I
to get it back to
think
the
so,
house?
I don't think, I mean, you gotta give me a couple, I thought you guys were gonna call me back in here with her, so.
Well, she has to leave, so
Oh.
she's free to leave if she wants.
So I think we'll talk and we'll probably, she's probably not gonna talk in here, so we'll probably go out to the car and then I'll be like, I'm not going anywhere with you.
Do you guys wanna check out the car and then come back up and tell us if you need assistance? Let us know.
You have my
I
number.
appreciate that.
You're allowed to go down to your car and you're allowed to go to your car and come back up and say you need assistance. That means that she's made a threat against him or his children or something like that, and he needs assistance. They're giving him a hint that ways he can get around keeping his wife away from his kids.
We appreciate that.
On the shot. Okay. Alright, thank you.
Maybe more of this or this the end? Looks like it's the end. Let's see real quick. Yeah, that's the end. Well, I wish this had more than, I wish there was a confession and all that. Usually they have confessions and stuff at the end. For my first one, I kind of wish it had been. I originally did this one because I want to see if they're going to give me a hard time with monetization. If they're not going to let me monetize it, there's no point in me doing other ones. If they do let me monetize it, I'd love to do these like once a week, and a lot better ones. There's actually another guy out there that he might let me use his. He does a bunch of stuff, and he might let me use his. He does stuff just like this, but they're way better. They are people that are actually in like prison clothes and stuff like that that have been arrested and they're going to jail for murder and stuff like that. But I gotta find out what ones I can use and what ones I can't. This one's called Law and Crime. I'm trying to find out if they're gonna let me use this or not. I'll find out in a couple minutes here. But if you like this video, please hit the like button, share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you haven't already. Hit the notifications if you haven't already. And if anybody knows about that camera, please let me know. I'd like to be using a way better camera. I know how to plug it in. I got it plugged in. I just can't get it to work on my OBS studio. If there's a way to use it without the OBS studio, I'll even do that. If there's another way, somebody knows another way I can use it, I'll even do that. I'd rather use the OBS studio because all my videos, I have over 1,000 videos now. I've been doing this for 10 months. I've got over 1,000 videos, so I'd like to keep them all in one area if I could, but if I can't, then I can't. So anyway, this is Dean saying have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I've definitely done videos tonight, so I'll talk to you tomorrow. If my tooth is better, if my jaw is better, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.